Thank you for tuning into The Truth with Trinity. And I am your host, Trinity. And if this is your first time tuning into the podcast, I'd like to send you a warm welcome. Here I talk about issues that happen within the Black community, hopefully for some resolution or at least some food for thought to go about your daily way. So without further ado, I'd like to jump into this episode's topic, which is why the Black woman can't get any respect in society until she does this. I wanted to first start off saying that this message is not for every Black woman. This message is for the Black woman that sees that something is amiss, something isn't quite right with the personification of the Black woman, with the stereotypes that have been lingering around for the last 100 to 500 years of the Black woman since we landed in this country. And this message is also for the Black woman, the younger Black woman, the revolutionary Black woman that wants to see a change and doesn't want to fit and conform into the stereotypes placed on Black women in this country. Now, we have two problems with the Black woman in this country as far as her class and her etiquette. Half of the country wants to see the Black woman, benefits off of seeing the Black woman in such a poor state. And then we have the other half that wants to see the Black woman change, but the Black woman has to want to change within herself. So I would like to start off by saying, let's talk about and let's define class. And another thing too is I think um, a lot of sisters are looking for answers, and it seems like a lot of speakers and people are just coming down on the Black woman without explaining and actually explaining through what is class. So we're hearing that we don't have class, we're hearing that we don't have etiquette, but how do you get it? And that's what I would like to talk about in today's episode. So once again, let's define class and refinement. What is class, refinement, and etiquette? It's behavior and mannerisms that can be achieved through practice and repetition. So when we talk about class and when we talk about etiquette, Black woman, this is something that you just can't learn in 5 minutes or 10 minutes, or you just snap and it's put on. This is something that has to be taught from a very little girl. Okay, so at the ages of 2 years old, 3 years old, that you're being groomed into this. So it starts as a child, okay? So that's where the practice and repetition comes from. Class, charm, and refinement usually starts, like I said, at a young age. Class, etiquette, status, and mannerisms all affect how a woman will be seen and how she will be treated, and is a reflection of the men in her family. Okay? Class is usually passed from mother to daughter, or a finishing school set up and designed to teach women how to be ladies. Okay, so you either learn it from either your mother or a woman, or a woman that you grew up around, or if there's schools, and these were usually for rich white women. But like I said, these things in 2021 can be accessible to Black women. Okay, and the schools taught how to eat, drink, sit, talk, walk, dress, how to act at home and abroad. So, this is how to act inside the home and how to act outside the home, how to raise children and be a comfort to your husband. Okay, so let's get into the meat and potatoes. Okay, the Black girl and woman has been conditioned to believe that the only thing related to her femininity was sexuality. So basically, the Black little girl and woman was taught, if I can switch my hips, if I can pop it and lock it, if I can do whatever, that's all I need, and I've got it licked as being a woman. Okay, as long as my breasts look right, as long as my butt looks right, I'm just all right. I don't need to work on my attitude or anything. Okay, how well she performed in bed. So this is what the Black woman was taught, that this is all she needed with her femininity, was how well she performed in bed, and that nothing else mattered. Okay, her attitude, her tone of voice, her speech, none of that mattered. We continue to live in a society that still promotes racist beliefs that the white, light, Latina, Asian, and every other woman can be ladylike, feminine, and of high value. Who do our young black girls have to look up to though? Who? We, like I said, we see these celebrities on TV. Some of them are half black, whatever you want to call it, but they're fitting under the guise of being a black woman and promoting an image that black women are just masculine, that they're just sexual and moral, and they lack self control. Okay, this is what you see. This is what our young black girls are having to look up to. I stand before you now to encourage the black woman that it's not about what the country or world feels, okay, or perceives or views about the black woman, but more than anything, it's about how we as black women view ourselves. I like to go over some things, behaviors, and ways that continue to hurt and destroy the black woman from the inside out, that further destroys her image. Okay? Number one, I know a lot of people are going to get upset about this. This is a big one right here. And it's number one, twerking and dancing with vulgarity out in public. Okay, so a lot of people are going to get upset. We've got some men, that get upset about this. And, as I've stated before, the black man, you cannot continue to talk about that you can't find black women with class, but be the same black man out of your own selfish sexual indulgences. Just want to see black women paraded on tabletops, countertops, gymnasiums, on graduation stages, and inappropriate places on camera, TikTok, wherever they're at, gyrating their body, acting other than themselves, and then at the same time saying that you want a black woman, okay? So no, we don't need any more black men supporting this. And the black woman, I know that, you will say that this is part of, the culture of black women, and, this is just something that we do, but why is us being unladylike, us showing our body parts and our most intimate parts of ourselves part of our culture though? Who told us this? Who put this in our head as black women, that this personifies the black woman's culture and that she's the only one that is known for twerking? Yeah, you'll see other women twerking. You'll see other white women and Latino women every now and then. You'll see them, twerking. But what I want to say before I go into this is, there's some black women that'll say, well, white women are twerking on TV. The white woman already has built her legacy. Her man has already built her legacy. This country is saturated with the white woman's legacy of being a lady, of being a queen, of being a princess. All the movies and all the decades that the white woman has already been seen as a lady. She's not fighting to be a lady. She never has fought to have her image propped up as a woman, a lady. The black woman is still trying to fight to be considered a lady. So yeah, you see white women on there parading and flaunting around. She could wear a fig leaf and be naked on stage, but no one's ever going to stereotype her with the same stigmas and negative stigmas that are placed on the black woman. Okay, so let me continue. So let's not compare ourselves about what the white woman's doing if she's gyrating on stage, and compared to the black woman who has a full legacy and history in this country of only, that's the only thing we represent. Okay. The black woman complains about not being respected as a real lady, but doesn't understand that her actions contradict her desires to be respected. So a lot of black women, we're saying that we want to be respected, but yet our actions are proving otherwise. No other race of woman promotes her sexuality more than the black woman. But why? The black woman was never expected to be more than just a midnight sexual encounter. Society never placed high demands on the black woman, but only the low demand of sexual gratification and catering to a man sexually, or sexual eye candy. The black woman must know the value of her body, that her body must never be used as a tool or a weapon. The black woman's body should not be for open display. I'm going to repeat that again. The black woman's body should not be used as a tool, and it should not be for open display. A lot of our young women, they have seen older young women, so we're feeling like this is the way and the rite of passage for Black women. But a lot of those moves and a lot of those dances are to be done in the comfort of your home and in the bedroom with your husband. They're not everyone's supposed to see how your butt moves up and down like that. I mean, that is that all that Black women represent? And you have to ask yourself, is this what you want to go down in the history books as Black women as being known for? Okay, let me continue. Okay, being in compromising positions, especially out in public, lowers the value of the Black woman and generates a negative stereotype for Black women worldwide. So, us with our legs open on the floor, butt poached up, perched out, all these things contribute to a negative stereotype of Black women. And when one Black woman does it, or a group of Black women do it, there can be some Black women that do respect themselves, and there are Black women that do have class and charm, but that gets overshadowed by so many other Black women who are still fitting into that stereotype and mindset that Black women just have to be naked, uncouth, uncivilized, legs propped open, butt pushed out, as if this is the only thing that we have to offer. Okay, and this sets the stereotype for Black women worldwide. Some Black women agree, excuse me, some Black women argue that white women or other races twerk. Okay, so I talked about that earlier. Okay, some Black women say that other women twerk. Like I said, other women have already gained and already have their legacy as being women. It's already ingrained into the minds of all Americans all around the world that the white woman is known as a lady and all these things. Okay, the Black woman needs to concentrate on herself and how she's going to gain her legacy. Okay, so we can't compare ourselves to what white women are doing. Okay, and they've already got a legacy of being a lady, but we haven't even gotten a legacy of being considered a woman yet, and we're still on the floor and we're still on the ground grinding and gyrating. Okay, some people, both Black men and women, um, argue that it is only for fun and not to be judgmental about it. But why do we as Black people always have to be someone's jester or entertainment? Okay, because that's what we're doing. We're making these videos on YouTube and gyrating and twerking and all that. Other people are looking back for our at us, at our demise, and we're their entertainment. Like we're jesters or some type of performers or something to amuse people. Okay, when are we going to step out of that role? Okay, why is it so wrong to hold Black women to a higher standard? Instead of giving Black women a pass for whoredom, as if to say that being loose and provocative is all the Black woman is capable of. Other races of women are held to a higher standard. How come Black women are given a pass as to say, "Oh, take it easy on the Black woman. Let her gyrate and do what she's going to do because that's all she is anyway." And that's what that sends a message to say if we don't start coming down on each other and say, "Hey, we can do better than that." We need to start teaching our daughters, no, you don't need to dress like that. You don't need to act like that out in public. And other grown Black women, this is no more of a pass in 2021 going into 2022 where we're doing this thing where we're saying, "Oh no, we're just Black women and we're doing our thing." What thing is that we're doing though that keeps causing us to be disrespected and looked at as less than a woman, but then we complain that we're not looked at as women though? We need to take a good look at ourselves, as women. Number two, this is another thing that causes us, not to get any respect in society: fighting, arguing, and cursing. Okay? The Black woman must learn to only use physical violence when her life is in danger. Using violence because of lack of self control or lack of emotions is not an excuse. A woman is judged greatly upon how she conducts herself, and part of that is the tone of her voice and her vocabulary, because your vocabulary is indicative of your education and class in society. Cursing makes the Black woman look dishonorable and masculine. Therefore, men won't look upon her as a lady, but as a brute. Black women must learn how to conduct themselves as feminine, but protect themselves at the same time if needed. Okay. So I think a lot of black women think, being feminine is being vulnerable and being soft. Well, we're supposed to be soft. We're women. And I know there's a lot of back and forth going on about, black women not being feminine, why black men don't feel the need to protect them. But I think it's a 50-50 split. I think the black man needs to provide an environment for his own black women so that she can practice femininity and not feel like she has to be masculine all the time. But at the same time, if black women are wanting the black man to cultivate this environment, that she must put forth the effort and her change of conduct as well. And I think black men and black women, like I've always said before, we both must rise as a whole. And another thing is, I think, women are human. And I think people are human in general. But, as a woman, especially when you're in front of men, I think, even other cultures and races of women, there's a certain way that women act around each other that they may not act around men. So all the tomboyish, all the little things and cursing and belching and, things like that, and a little yell out here and a scream out there, do it amongst their girls in private somewhere, like at a little girls' pajama party, or, like a little I don't know, a girl's getaway where there's nobody else around. But as far as out in public and in front of men and in society, there's a certain way that you are to conduct yourself, and it's not about acting fake. And I think the black woman thinks that a lot. I want to be me, I want to be real. But what's being real though? We need to really, you know, re-identify and reclassify what we as black women call keeping it real when it refers to us being women, and what we're willing to let be seen and shown about ourselves out in public versus who we are at home when no one else is around. Okay. Black women must learn how to conduct themselves as feminine but protect themselves at the same time. Some may argue that there are black women that hold PhDs and bachelor's degrees and are still loud, ghetto, and gyrate out in public on top of tables. Okay, so you might argue and say, "Hey, I know a black woman with two bachelors and one master's, and she gyrates and she twerks." And I'm like, well, that's the problem we're having. Being educated is supposed to symbolize a certain level that you've rose to in society. And with the black woman, that is true. They are being educated with books, book knowledge, but they're still lacking the etiquette and class and charm, which has blocked some black women from being respected in higher positions, and also blocked from even engaging or applying for certain positions because of her etiquette, because of her class. And who can take one seriously, who is educated to such a high magnitude and still, performing and putting herself out there like that? They may have obtained a degree, but they didn't obtain class. Class and etiquette is different than book smarts. It's time for us as black women to rise. So it's not enough for you to yell and scream, kick, fight, you know, and be violent and to justify it saying, oh, I make 100,000 or I make $200,000 a year. Men don't want to hear how much you make. They're more concerned about, if you're going to make them look good in public, if you have the class to sit at a five-star restaurant, if you're going to embarrass them, how are you going to teach their daughters, things of that nature, and there's nothing wrong with having an education, but, the black woman needs to, put forth more effort in other areas other than just education book wise. Okay, in many of the films, movies, and videos we watch, it is always seen as a darker woman being a stripper or naked, as if the society we live in has already set the stage on who um, or how the black woman shall be portrayed. But I challenge my fellow black women, how long will we promote, engage, or indulge in a false culture that promotes black women as masculine whores? How long will the black woman continue to harm or belittle other black women who are feminine without going to seek class and etiquette classes herself? So don't hate other black women for being, feminine. We see that a lot of times in the work culture, in different places in the neighborhood. Even as little girls, I think a lot of black women, especially in the urban areas, practice this. They'll beat on, they'll bully on the feminine black little girls or whatever, the one that raises their hand in school, and soft spoken. And then this is how black culture is between black women. They don't honor, they don't respect other black women being feminine. Okay, and I'm challenging the black woman, instead of those that do fit this description, go find some class yourself. There's videos, there's books, and as I've stated before, white people have stole some things from us. We can steal some things from them, and you might need to watch some white literature, white women movies, white videos and tapes and books on how to be a lady. If you can find some black women, some very beautiful black women that there are, you can watch them, emulate them, still be yourself, but emulate some of their mannerisms and take them into your own and absorb them into your own, or look at some white oak English movies and literatures wherever you can get it at. Okay, if you're sitting in your mom's house and you're in the hood or whatever, wherever you can find it at. Now that we have social media, it's not as hard as it was before. Okay, how long will we continue to conduct ourselves in this manner while our little girls watch? And I'm talking to the grown black women out there. Our little girls are watching us. How long are we going to continue to conduct ourselves like this? Okay, passing on the curse of being naked, not valuing our body, loud, uncivilized, and uncouth, because that's what we're doing as black women. Okay, not all of us, okay, but you know what I'm talking about. You know, this is what we're passing on to our little girls. While other little girls got princesses, they've got their mothers to look up to. Put your napkin on your lap, sit with your shoulders back, only one hand on the dinner table. You know, don't belch. Don't gulp your drinks down at the dinner table. All these things. You know, walking around with the book on the head. I know that's a little old fashioned, but I'm just saying, with the ruler at the back. Making sure the dresses are proper length. Okay, our daughters being protected, that they can't do and they can't say and they can't be anywhere with little boys. No chaperone, no guidance, none of that. And all these celebrities and videos and stuff, they're not teaching our kids anything. They're not teaching our little girls anything that they're going to be able to be useful, and anything that can mold them. You have to watch what your kids watch, and you have to be what you want your kids to see. Okay, you can't let them watch anybody else more than they watch you. Okay. Um, Let me continue. The black woman's mothering skills. So this is another one. The black woman's mothering skills. We must protect and shield our children from mental poison. I was just talking about that. The mental poisoning. We must educate ourselves so that we can educate our children. That's why it's very important, for the black woman to gain some sort of education before she has offspring. Not just education in books, but herself, her surroundings, and something that you can teach your children. So if you have to homeschool your kids, you don't have to be solely dependent on someone. If you don't like the way they're teaching, you learned English, you graduated from high school, you have some college, you have some things and skills that you can teach your kids. Okay, because that's what we're supposed to do as women. We must cook and clean for our children. We must set the proper example for our daughters. The black woman must get back in touch with God. Okay, as I stated before, it doesn't matter what stereotypes that this country has tried to cement upon us as black women. It is not our place to be the unladylike or promiscuous. For so long, they told us that this is our place as black people. Okay? But when are we going to break that mode? It doesn't matter what they say. But how long are we going to continue to just lie down on our backs and take that as black women, that we're going to continue with these stereotypes? They lied to us saying we were undesirable because of what we look like. Okay? Being black, dark, or whatever. But it is our actions as black women that has left a bitter stain upon the black woman's legacy. So a lot of us, like I said, saying that it's solely based off of what we look like as black women. Yeah, there are some, some negative things about what people say, and that's another whole episode right there as far as the dark black woman, okay? Because you can't tell a white woman that she's ugly, and I'd be daggone if one of them can tell me that I'm not beautiful. And so if you try to call them ugly, they'll say you're a liar, and I challenge them as them a liar. And it's time for us to have that confidence. But the only way we can is by being beautiful within. Okay? So that no one can challenge our beauty. No one can challenge our class because we have mastered it. And that's what black women must become. We must become masters of feminine etiquette. Okay? Because that's where the true beauty comes in. The true beauty doesn't come in the size of your butt and this and that. I mean, it's good to stay in shape. Don't get me wrong, but I'm talking about parading it and wearing nothing and not having any clothes on and still expect to be treated with some respect. Okay, they lie to us about that. That this is our only role in life is just to be promiscuous. Okay, our female ancestors fought so hard to be considered a woman, but was beaten, raped, and kicked down by both white men and white women who only considered themselves ladies. So while the white man back then was beating and raping us, okay, so anything we did, it was going to be rape and beaten down and all these type of things. And white women would beat you and kill you too if you tried to act like you were feminine and a lady, because they were saying, hey, that's my place. Well, I'm here in 2021 to tell this country that the black woman will be revamped, revived, and that there is a new age of black woman coming on the scene. That being feminine no longer just applies to pale skin. Okay? Black woman, we owe it to ourselves and our ancestors to get up off our knees, place clothing upon ourselves, hold our head high, shoulders back, and begin to carry ourselves like a lady. Okay, and I want to say one more thing. Our men, okay, a lot of black women are saying we're losing our men to other races of women. Well, you know what? It's time for the black woman to buckle down. It's time for the black woman to learn a thing or two. Okay? Because the black man shouldn't have to go across seas. He shouldn't have to go to other races of women. Now, if he wants to go to another race of woman, that's cool. But it shouldn't be solely based off the fact because he feel like he can't be masculine because he feels like black women are too masculine and haven't practiced the art of femininity. Okay? Let us stop indulging in a persona that continues to destroy us as women, okay? Let us stop it. And I wanted to say that I love my black women out there. I know what you're going through. I'm a black woman myself. And like I said, once again, I love you and I expect the best out of us. And I know that we're going to overcome some of the challenges that we face. And it's an everyday constant battle. It's been a pleasure talking with you. This concludes this episode. If you like what you heard, you can hit the like or subscribe button. If you would like to share with others that you feel like this could be useful, you can hit the share button. If you'd like to contact me, if you have any questions or suggestions, you can contact me at thetruthwithtrinity.com. If you want to show your financial love or make a donation, you can also hit the PayPal button on thetruthwithtrinity.com. You can listen to my podcast on YouTube, Spotify, and Anchor. And always remember, if you can't tell the truth with anyone else, you can with Trinity. Till next time, take care.